So first of all, welcome and thanks for joining me today for this pre-arrival webinar for undergraduate students joining us for the October start. We're going to talk a little bit about prep you can do before arrival for orientation, and our orientation will be the 2nd and 3rd of October, so coming up pretty soon. First of all, I'd like to introduce you to my team. So this is the Student Affairs team, the people you will meet when you arrive on campus, but maybe some people you have met already in conversations about your enrollment at Richmond. My name is Allison, and I oversee the Student Affairs team, but I have a lot of really helpful, supportive people here to help you get started at Richmond and help you throughout your years with us. The first right next to me there is Elizabeth Lucia. She's our head of student support and access. Unfortunately, Elizabeth is not with us today, but she will be with us during orientation, so you'll meet her in person. Next to her is Ian Lunny. He's our student accommodation and community support officer. And if you are living with us in State Club North Acton, chances are you have been in correspondence with Ian already. And Ian is with us today. Do you want to say a quick hi, Ian?
Yeah, hi everybody. So as Alison mentioned, if you are living with us at Stay Club, I'll be your direct point of contact there. If you have any questions regarding general accommodation outside of that, I can also provide you some support. And also with our community and lots of things to get engaged with on and off campus. So please do drop me an email and let me know.
Great. Thanks, Ian. Next to Ian there is Beth Prescott. She's our Student Health and Wellbeing Officer, and Beth is a wealth of knowledge about ways that you can balance your studies and your personal life and make the most of your time at university. Beth is with us. If you want to say a quick hi, Beth.
Yeah, thanks, Alison. Oh, sorry, we've got this. Okay, hopefully that's better. So as Alison said, I am the Student Health and Wellbeing Officer. So I am here to look after your health and wellbeing needs. So whether that's physical or mental health issues, please do come and speak to me and we can set up getting you some support.
Great, thanks, Beth. Next to Beth on the top row there is Alice Fillingham. She's our Student Accessibility Officer. We do have a number of students at Richmond who require maybe a little extra assistance in their studies. Sometimes this will be extended deadlines, note-taking, support for lectures. Sometimes it's in a test-taking situation, and Alice is the person who will help you with those student support plans. Alice, would you like to say hi?
Hi everyone. So yes, as Alison says, I'm the accessibility officer at Richmond. So I create support plans for students with additional needs. So if you have any questions, let me know, but otherwise look forward to meeting you all soon.
Okay, thank you. Down on the next row there are Catherine and Chi, and they are our UKVI compliance team. They're the people that you'll meet at orientation to take your documents, but they can also support you with any questions you might have post-arrival and into your studies related to your student route visa. So, Catherine, do you want to say hello?
Yes, hi everybody. Welcome to Richmond. I think Alison's kind of said it all really. We will meet you for your document checks, probably the first thing that you do when you come to campus, and here for you throughout your studies for questions about immigration and your visa, right through to the graduate route visa, if that's something you're interested in.
Great, thank you. Chi, you want to say a quick hi?
Hi, just want to say hi and looking forward to see you guys soon.
Great, thank you. Next to Chi are Maria and Ragad, and they make up our career services team. We do believe that students coming to university often have a job in mind and are looking for ways to develop skills outside of the classroom to support them for that next step into employment. Maria and Ragad will be hands-on from day one, helping you gain those skills and work experience to support you post-studies. And you will be arriving at a great time because we're hosting a careers fair on the 8th of October. So you start classes and walk right in to some of our employability events. Next to Maria and Ragad is Jason. Jason is our head of student financial assistance and scholarships. So many of you are lucky enough to have scholarships through our admissions team on arrival. But if you find yourself in financial distress or need a little extra support with finances, Jason is a great person to talk to. And he'll be around during orientation as well. The person not pictured here, and somebody you have probably met already through a lot of emails, is Gemma Hadji George. She's our head of admissions. Gemma, do you want to say a quick hi?
Thanks, Alison. Yep. Hi, everyone. We really look forward to welcoming you to campus next week. I know that some of you may have some last-minute queries, so we're here to help. Myself and the team on the call are here to help with any questions that you might have. And yeah, really looking forward to meeting you and welcoming you next week. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Gemma. All right, well, let's get started. So the first thing that you can do before your arrival on campus on the 2nd or 3rd is to sign into Outlook. Each of you have been given a university student ID number, and that ID number starts with a bunch of zeros. You can find it in your admissions letter. You can probably find it in a lot of the correspondence that we've sent you before you enroll as a student. You can sign into Outlook by going to outlook.office.com. Your student email will be your student ID number, so all of those zeros and the longer number at richmond.ac.uk. The first time you sign in, your password will be Richmond with a capital R, and then your 6-digit birth date in day, month, year format. Immediately when you put in that password, you'll be asked to change it to something that you'll remember, and there are some requirements to your password, special characters, uppercase, numbers, the rest of it. Make sure you follow those and choose a password that you will remember. That password will follow you through the different platforms that you sign on to pre-orientation and at orientation. So as part of Outlook, you also get the whole Office 365 suite, which includes Word, Excel, PowerPoint, OneDrive, Teams, and the rest of it. So it's a really great product and probably something you'll be using throughout your studies at Richmond. As I mentioned, our orientation will run Thursday and Friday, the 2nd and 3rd of October. So that's just next week. If you are someone who is studying a computer science or software engineering, or somebody who is in humanities and social sciences or communications, we're asking that you come on Thursday, the 2nd of October. If you're somebody on a business course, we're asking that you come on Friday, the 3rd of October. One area that often gets confused is marketing, and we are putting marketing alongside our business courses, so make sure you're there on the 3rd of October. We have a lot of really helpful information on our student-facing website at students.richmond.ac.uk. So if you want to see what the orientation schedule looks like, if you'd like to read a little bit about our advice on student route visas, or you'd like to check out our accommodation a little bit more, you can find all of that on that website. So here's a quick overview. We are asking all students to arrive at 9:30 if you're, depending on your course, Thursday or Friday. From 9:30 to 11, we will have document checks in our main lobby, and you'll need to bring your original passport. Hopefully you've already created an e-visa and you can bring us a share code or send that in advance. You'll also need some form of documentation to show the date that you entered the UK. Sometimes this is a stamp in your passport, sometimes it's not. If you have a boarding pass, whether that's electronic or paper, that would be great. At 11 o'clock, we will host a Life in London seminar, and this will be about transport, banking, mobile phones, getting around London, student accommodation, budgeting, and the rest of it. If you are a Londoner, we may be calling on you to give some of your helpful advice. But if you're not, don't worry, we've got a team of experts ready to help you. At 12 o'clock, we'll break for lunch. And then following that, we'll have a mandatory visa session that will be run by Catherine and Chi on our UKVI compliance team. Then we'll host a seminar on accessing university systems. So if you've had a little difficulty accessing Outlook, or you need some help accessing our virtual learning environment or the student portal, we'll have an IT team on hand to support you. We've got a student finance session with our student finance team following that. And lastly, registration drop-in sessions in the computer lab. So if you are studying computer science, humanities and social science, or a communications course, you should, by the end of Thursday, have your schedule and know exactly where you need to be from Monday the 6th. If you're studying a business course, you'll get that by Friday afternoon. And again, you'll know exactly where you need to be and what to do for the following Monday. So what's covered in the orientation schedule? I mentioned document checks and a mandatory visa seminar, a little extra support accessing systems if you've been struggling with that. And we do recommend that you bring your laptop with you to orientation so that we can sort out any kinks of joining the Wi-Fi or any of our other platforms. The Life in London seminar, where we really encourage questions and answers. So if you are wondering about London transport or how to open a bank account or what's required of a part-time job or any of that, bring those questions with you to the seminar. We'll also host a campus tour so you can see exactly where your classes will be and some of the social spaces that are available to you. We're also asking you in advance of joining orientation for you to upload a photo of yourself so that we can create your student ID and you can collect that when you join us for orientation. And lastly, of course, you can meet the finance and IT teams to support you with any questions you have. We do expect everyone to come to orientation in person, so please do clear your schedule and prepare to join us. Once you have signed on to Outlook, you can then move on to Blackboard, and Blackboard is our virtual learning environment. For every class that you take at Richmond, there will be a Blackboard page that goes along with that course. And on that page, you will have the opportunity to read through the syllabus, upload assignments, find course materials, and submit assessments. So really important for you to learn to navigate Blackboard a bit. And with that in mind, we have created a student orientation page to help you do that. So you can log into Blackboard again only after you log into Outlook and change your password at blackboard.richmond.ac.uk. Your username again will be that student ID number with all the zeros, and your password will be the changed password that you put in when you changed your password on Outlook. The only thing you'll see when you sign on right now will be that orientation page. Please have a read through it. There's lots of really helpful resources on there. Some of the resources are about life in London. Some of them are about navigating resources on campus. Many of them will be very useful to you pre-arrival to campus. And this is what it looks like. And you'll see on there, there's a welcome and get started. There's some orientation schedules that you can refer back to, and even a few videos to help you start to learn and meet new people. Okay, so one of the questions I get from a lot of new students is about student accommodation, and I'm really pleased to tell you that we actually have a few empty rooms at Stay Club North Acton. So if you are still trying to figure out a place that you might want to live for the coming term, we have you covered. And I'm going to hand over to Ian to tell you a little bit about student accommodation.
Hello, yes. So as Alison was saying, we have a few rooms that are available at Stay Club, which if you wanted to secure that place, you can contact me and we can arrange that for you. Stay Club is a really amazing building which has all these amenities that are available, including a gym, cinema room, there's a cafe and some dining options as well, which is really great. In the accommodation, we have a lot of students that are studying at Richmond as well. So you won't be alone there. And we also have a residence life team who will be able to support you with any questions, big or small, and will help you adjust to your move to London and Stay Club. The accommodation itself is actually not far from the campus. It's about a 15-minute walk and overground. Together, it's about 20 minutes, I would say, 30 minutes. So it's not far at all. Obviously, as we said, there are a limited number. So if you are interested, please do reach out to us, either Student Affairs, email myself as well. and we can arrange that for you. Otherwise, if you are looking for other options of accommodation, I can also support you with that as well. So we can look at external providers as well, or even private lettings that might be able to support the time period of which you're looking for, which we can help advise and give guidance for, and help you with any questions you might have.
Great, thank you, Ian. And the pictures we've got here on the slide are exactly what Ian mentioned. It's a very large building. Richmond has allocations within the building, so you'll meet other international students from other universities who are living there as well. There's some really lovely common spaces, including a cinema room and a gym and a rooftop terrace. And all of the rooms are studio apartments, so they're single occupancy with a small kitchen and bathroom inside. Okay, so Ian mentioned you can rent in the private sector, and to be honest, most of our students do this. A lot of our students who are in the residence halls with us at Stay Club right now are short-term visiting students. But if you're interested in signing a short-term let for 16 weeks, you can do that with Stay Club, which you probably won't be able to do in the private sector. Some of our students rent rooms in which they are a tenant with other tenants in a flat. Some of them rent entire flats within an area. So some things you should start thinking about if you are planning to move to London and looking to rent a flat. Think about where you might be staying and what the transport will be like from that location to campus. Make sure you know who the landlord is. There are some people, particularly in London, who will scam you for a lot of money. So you want to make sure that the landlord is reputable and that you're renting from an individual or an agency. Think about how your deposit will be protected, and you will normally have to pay a deposit of at least 1 month's rent up front in addition to your other fees. Again, think about transport. If you're living a long way from campus, it may be cheaper rent, but it'll be more costly to take public transport to campus. And then think about the things around you. Are there shops? Are there hairdressers? Are there doctor's offices that you can go to? And consider whether your residence is furnished or not. Can you walk straight in and have a bed and a table and a chair or not? So lots of things to think about. If you haven't ever rented on your own, Ian is a great person to talk to about some of the checklist of things that you might consider when renting privately. Okay, before you start with us at Richmond, we're giving you the opportunity to meet one another, and we're doing this through WhatsApp communication groups. So we have created groups for 4 different groups of majors: social sciences and humanities, maths, computer science and software engineering, business, economics and finance, and then finally communications and media. And I'm going to put those in the chat at the end of our conversation today. They're also on Blackboard. So the people in those groups already are students who started with us earlier in September, but you will be joining them on courses a little bit later in the next couple of weeks. Great way to meet people before you arrive. So beyond accommodation, another question I get a lot is about managing your money. And London is quite an expensive city, but there are ways that you can manage and budget on a student budget. So first, think about the cost of living in the UK. Most people here, particularly in London, spend around 40 to 50 pounds per week on their household food. This would not include going to a restaurant or ordering takeaway or delivery food. The average rent right now in London for a single room is 850 pounds per month. As you start to get used to transport and travel and some of the expenses of shopping in London, your first term is likely to be your most expensive. But we do have some really helpful top tips from student leaders about budgeting, and you'll find those on our Blackboard orientation course. When you are budgeting, start thinking about travel, study supplies, finding time to enjoy things with friends and going out. Some of these can be hugely expensive, and some of them can be very discounted if you follow some of our helpful advice. And again, if you're renting outside of student accommodation, be aware of utilities and costs like Wi-Fi, water, gas, electric, your deposit, and your TV license. So as students sponsored on student route visas, you are eligible to work 20 hours per week during term time and full-time outside of term time. Of course, your priority is your studies, so you want to make sure that you can balance that work alongside your studies. Uh, you will be getting your schedule either the Thursday or Friday of orientation. And if you're looking for a part-time role, you should be able to balance that with the schedule that you get. A lot of our students do work evenings and weekends to support the cost of living in London. Think about where you might like to work and consider places either near your house or campus where you'll be coming regularly. Definitely speak to our careers team. Ragad and Maria can offer some really great advice about finding part-time jobs, CVs, and interviews. Check your Richmond email regularly. We do post opportunities in our This Week at Richmond newsletter that comes out every Monday. Certainly don't be shy about approaching local businesses. And I took a walk down Chiswick High Street just a couple of days ago and saw lots of vacancy notices in local cafes, pubs, and shops down there. Definitely connect with other students, Richmond students who are working in different places. They may have opportunities that you didn't know about. And just so you know, the London living wage is 13.85 per hour, but our national minimum wage is 12.21 for 21 years old and older. So just to give you an idea of what part-time jobs might pay. So I mentioned Richmond has a really generous offering of scholarships and bursaries for new students, but we also have links to the US Department of Education for subsidized and unsubsidized loans. And we also have a connection to the Student Loans Company for UK students. I know some international students are supported by their government as well through student loans, and Jason, our head of student financial assistance, manages all of that. Jason, I think you joined us. Do you want to say a quick hi? Well, maybe he didn't join us. I thought I saw his name pop up. But don't worry, if you need Jason, we can we'll find a way to get his email and
My name is
yeah,
Jason,
Jason.
Head of Financial Assistance and Scholarships, and I oversee all areas relating to student funding. As Alison mentioned, we are registered with the US Department of Education as well as with the Student Loans Company or Student Finance England. So do feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions relating to funding or scholarships. Thank you and welcome to Richmond.
Thanks, Jason. Okay, so just a little note about transport. If you haven't been to London before, you might find yourself at Heathrow or Gatwick, ready to jump on a train, but not quite sure how to do it. So one of some of the tips that we have for your arrival into the UK are to consider purchasing a small data roaming package to help support you in your travel through London. Of course, there will be Wi-Fi at airports and most train stations, but there won't be in between, and navigating may be a bit difficult. So think about that. If you have Google Maps, you can download your journey offline so that you can look at it when you maybe don't have a Wi-Fi connection. Definitely make some copies of those important documents and keep them safe. We occasionally have a student lose a passport, and it's quite a job to get a replacement. So keep those important documents safe. Maybe bring enough cash for a day or two. Most places in London now don't accept cash. In fact, contactless payment is pretty much everywhere here. So if you are using a card that has exchange rates, think about getting one of those multi-currency cards that may support you early on. And try not to bring too many bags. I know it's very tempting to bring everything from home, but chances are your accommodation here will be much smaller than what you're used to. Okay, if you're getting to us from the airport, it is quite simple. Heathrow and Gatwick both have trains and tubes connecting you to London. We recommend that you try to arrive between 8 in the morning and 4 in the afternoon just to make travel easier, but our tubes and trains do run later. All major airports, of course, will have taxis and bus services as well. If you do have any questions how to get from the airport to campus or to your accommodation, send us a message and we can help you through that. Google Maps is a really great way to get from point A to point B, but you can also search up Transport for London Journey Planner, which is what we use for any of the services, transport services around London. Okay, so while you're here in London, you will qualify for an 18+ student Oyster card. And that Oyster card allows you to travel throughout London weekly and monthly at a 30% discount. The Oyster card allows for bus, train, tram, tube, everything. And transport in London is by zone. So out in Chiswick Park, where our campus is zone 3. If you're living with us at Stay Club, it is also zone 3, but we have students staying out as far as zones 5 and 6 and traveling in every day. So think about the cost of your travel, whether you'll be traveling at peak hours or off peak hours, and it may be worth your while getting this student Oyster card. Okay, so I know many of you are joining us from overseas, and we're going to talk just a little bit about visa requirements. But before we do, remember that as a student on a student route visa, we do expect you to register with the National Health Service. You've paid into it through the International Health Surcharge, so your best way to do that is to register with a general practitioner. And we'll be talking a little bit about that in the Life in London seminar during orientation. You'll also need to activate your e-visa, and our UKVI compliance team has some really helpful advice on how to do that if you haven't been able to do it already. Our expectation is that you will do that before you enter the UK, because you'll have to show your status to the border official. You'll also need that to open a bank account and to prove your eligibility to rent property and work part-time. So I'm going to turn it over to Catherine now to talk a little bit about visa documentation and our expectations for orientation.
Thank you, Alison. Yes, so as I think most of you will be on a student visa, so Gemma and her team in admissions will have issued you a CAS and guided you through the process of how to apply. I know there are some students that were still waiting to actually get the visa, but I think most probably have that by now. So as I think it's already been mentioned as well, we would need you to create, if you're not from a European country, you need to create your e-visa, but then also the main thing is that you share generate and share the share code with us. I have put in the chat the form, which is a Microsoft Word form, Microsoft form, I should say, where you can actually submit your share code. That's one place to do it. It's even it's in the presentation as well, but it's in the chat if that's helpful. And if you have not set that up yet, so for our students who are not from a European country, it's not created automatically for you. So your instructions would be in your visa decision email of what to do from the Home Office, but also equally you can go to the link there, Get Access e-visa, and go on and create your UKVI account. And I think there might be some more information on the next slide about that. So yeah, actually it's more about providing your share code and what you need to bring to campus, but it basically will talk you through the process of linking your documents, and then eventually you will be able to generate the share code once it's ready. So what you need to bring to campus then is really important that you bring your original passport. So we don't want to see a copy on a phone or anything like that. I know you would have submitted it obviously to get your visa, but we still need to verify with you in person that it's your original passport. So please bring that on Thursday or Friday, whichever day you come to campus. And also, as already mentioned, really important, the share code. Please provide that before you come, because it will save time on the day, so we don't have to go on and check it. So if we've already checked it beforehand, that would be great. And really important as well as evidence of date of entry into the UK. And this is because we want to check that you didn't arrive before your visa was valid. Otherwise, unfortunately, we won't be able to register you. You'd have to go out to the UK and come back again, which obviously wouldn't be very, very convenient. So proof of entry then could be a boarding pass. Some people may have a stamp in the passport. Some of you may even have what's called a vignette, which is like the entrance visa in your passport, and that may have a stamp on it. As long as it has your name, it's always in your passport, and it has the date of entry and that it's the UK, then bring that along and we can check that. So yes, do not travel before your visa starts is the main advice, I would say.
Okay,
So, yes.
thanks, Catherine. Was there anything else you wanted to say about processes? I know we do have a web page specifically for visa advice at students.richmond.ac.uk.
I would say mainly just make sure you attend the visa seminar during the orientation, because we go over attendance and what you can and can't do on your visa and all sorts of things like that. But yeah, that's the main thing really for now.
Great, thank you. Okay, many of you will want to open a bank account in the UK on arrival and enrollment. You will need to prove your student status. So just as Catherine was saying, you'll have to have that share code to show your identity and proof that you're eligible to open a bank account. You'll also need to show proof of address. So you will need some form of accommodation before you can open a bank account. And then they will probably want to see your passport as well. Some students choose high street banks, and I've got photos of different banks around, logos of different banks around London there. Some students choose entirely online banks like Monzo and Revolut and others. Again, in the Life in London seminar, we'll talk a bit about it. There is a bit of a process of opening a bank account. And for online banks, as you can imagine, that is entirely online. But for high street banks, there's an in-person component to it. So I mentioned and introduced you to Alice not long ago, who is our accessibility officer. And I just wanted to highlight that at Richmond, our motto is unity and diversity. We try to bring together a very different type of student to Richmond, people that may not have considered studying at university before, or people who hadn't considered studying at an American or British university before. We hope that we will be able to support you to reach your highest potential. And we hope to maximize that really with a personalized approach to student support. And a lot of that has to do with you individually, telling us your needs and things that we can do to ensure that you make the most of your studies. So we mentioned, I think Beth mentioned mental health and well-being. If you're a student that studies with chronic illness, we'd like to hear from you and know a bit about how we can support you. If you have a disability or you are neurodiverse, or you just have some challenges with studying in general, please do get in touch before your arrival and let's start our conversation now. We are asking all students to complete a health form, and on that health form, you can identify things that are maybe a bit difficult for you, things that you struggle with that we might be able to support you with. Okay, so I mentioned the key dates for orientation are the 2nd and 3rd of October, just next week. You will start classes on Monday, the 6th of October. We will be running all kinds of events and activities throughout the term. We do aim to host many low and no cost events because we understand the challenges of balancing your budget here in London. Some of our events will be posted on store.richmond.ac.uk. Some of these events are hosted by our Student Government Association or perhaps by our clubs and societies. So every Monday you will be getting a newsletter to tell you more about what's happening that week and in the weeks to come. Make sure you do join our WhatsApp chat groups and keep up to date over email and on Blackboard. And I think that's about it from us. I'm going to stop recording now and turn it over to you guys for questions.